shouldn't try to film after we watched Logan. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, video number 2. So today I want to talk about one of the hardest things to match, even if you don't have a crazy skin tone, and that's foundation. So, you know, in the last video I talked about some of the factors that go into finding something that works for me. So I'm pretty pale, I have oily skin, and it's also really sensitive. And I know that the camera probably doesn't show it very well, but I have a lot of leftover texture on my face from the years that I had cystic acne. So I have a lot right here and right here, and that's a lot to consider when you're thinking about finding something that works for you. And all the foundations that I have here in front of me are ones that satisfy all those conditions, plus they don't make my face look like one of the roads here in Houston, full of potholes. I kind of have a mix of some drugstore ones up to, you know, Sephora level ones, and I'm going to try to start and go from the lightest coverage to the fullest coverage and see how it goes from there. So the first one I want to talk about, if you guys haven't already followed Tati or Glam Life Guru, she's actually the one that turned me on to this, and I never thought I would like a foundation that was so light coverage, but this one literally lasts all day on me. And the funny thing is, it really just looks like your skin, but better. And that's exactly what she said in her video. It looks like your skin, but better, and it's beautiful. So the first one is this, the Almay Smart Shade. So this one, unfortunately, doesn't come in a very good shade range. It has 3 shades. Pretty sad. And it's not a very good 3 shades. It's light, medium, and medium, I think. So they're very fair and they're very dark. You're kind of leaving out. So, you know, they can really do with at least 3 more shades, you know, mostly darker shades, I would think. And this is called the Almay Smart Shade Skin Tone Matching Makeup. It sounds like magic, and I was super skeptical about it. I mean, you offered this one light shade and you think it's going to match my fair skin, okay. But it actually works really well. It's about $10. You can get it in almost any drugstore, and I think Ulta also sells it. But it really looks like your skin, but better. That's all I can really say. It evens out your skin tone. It's not matte, but it's not dewy. It's kind of just a natural finish. Now, the one thing that I kind of have to warn you about with this though is don't apply it with a Real Techniques Miracle Blending Sponge. Especially if you're going to put it on the sponge first and then put it on your face, because it's a skin tone matching makeup. So if you stick it on that orange sponge, it's going to try to match the orange sponge, and I found this out firsthand and I looked like an Oompa Loompa. So put it on your face first, then blend it out with the sponge. Don't put it on the sponge first because it'll turn orange. The next one on my list is the Tarte Amazonian Clay BB Tinted Moisturizer. This one actually comes in 7 shades, which isn't that bad for a BB cream. You know, normally they come in like light, medium, and deep, which really isn't a very good shade range for a BB cream, but this really spans a very wide range of skin tones. Now, if you kind of look at this a little bit, you'll notice that this is the lightest shade, Ivory, but it's really not that light. I mean, BB creams tend to blend into your skin a lot better than like a heavier foundation, so it's not as big of a deal, but at the same time I do wish that this came maybe just a little bit lighter. I mean, all of us pale princesses out there still want something light coverage that is actually our shade. But it blends in really nicely, and you get the same kind of mattifying effect that you would get with the regular like their Amazonian Clay foundation, but so much lighter coverage, and it lasts all day. And I mean, I do set all of these with a setting powder and a setting spray, so just to kind of put that out there, I'm not wearing these on their own. That's just not a thing with my skin. It's basically asking for a slip and slide later in the day. But it's also slightly luminous. It's not dewy by any means, but it kind of gives you like that lit from within glow, which is really nice, and it's still pretty matte. That's not something that usually happens with something that's mattifying, so this is a really nice one as well. Now, if you want just straight up light coverage, light medium maybe, but you still want a matte finish, then this one here, the Bareminerals Matte Foundation with SPF 15 is really, really good. I usually, with this, I'll spot conceal first, so I'll do my under eyes, and then, you know, I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation right here, and I'll go in with concealer on those areas, but this over it just looks like I have amazing skin, and I'm not wearing anything, and I feel like I can conquer the world when I wear this one. It is buildable, and this is the lightest shade. This is Fair C10. They come in 30 shades, and they really could go one lighter than this because this is slightly too dark, and it makes me mad that it's too dark. It's really great though. You can build it to about a medium coverage. You know, there's a lot of people that can get full coverage out of this, but I'm not one of them. So, but it's great, very matte finish. Now, this next one is one of the foundations that I bought in the UK, and I did look on Amazon. They don't have it for a really good price on our Amazon. You can get it on Amazon UK for about $10. It's like £8, but I think it's roughly about $10, which is a little pricey for a drugstore foundation, but this is one of the luminous ones that I really thought I wouldn't like. And this is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation in shade 51, which is light vanilla. This is also the lightest shade that this comes in, and it smells wonderful. It smells fruity. I love when I wear it. It just smells so nice, like I'm eating wonderful fruit in the morning. But it's a little yellow for me, but it really does last all day long, and it is a radiant foundation. It says on the bottle, Radiance Reveal, Healthy Glow and Flawless Complexion for up to 16 hours, Hydrated and Luminous Skin. Now, I don't know about 16 hours. No. But it does get me through the workday pretty good, and it does give you a really nice glow without really blending in with your own oil and just looking disgusting afterwards. This is so beautiful. So if you're able to find this, I totally recommend it. Now, as far as I could find, this only comes in like 8 shades, and they don't go very deep. And this is the lightest one they offer, so it's not super, super light. So Bourjois, get with the program, get more shades, because this is an amazing foundation that everybody should be able to wear. Now, kind of on the fence about this one. The foundation itself is wonderful. This is the Hourglass Immaculate Liquid Powder Foundation, mattifying and oil-free. Now, it does exactly what it says. It feels like a powder. Once you put it on, it comes out as a liquid, feels like a powder, it is mattifying, it is oil-free, and you know, a lot of people get full coverage out of this, but I really just couldn't. I found that trying to build it up more than like a medium coverage really ended up looking cakey. But my gripe with this is that this is $56. It does come in 16 shades, so they're doing a pretty good job being fairly shade inclusive. They could come with some darker shades, but I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but I think I used it, I don't know, maybe 10 times or so, and the little nozzle comes out. It broke. So if I'm going to pay $56 for a foundation, your nozzle better work, and I better be able to get everything out of this bottle. And this is, I believe this is only an ounce. Yeah, this is 1 ounce. So it's not like you get anything extra in here. I still use this. I just have to be really careful with this nozzle. But for $56, it shouldn't break like that. As far as the actual foundation goes, it really is mattifying. They have one shade lighter than this, actually, and I probably could try it, but it's more yellow toned. But it lasts all day. You know, they probably should put the 16-hour. Ooh. Makes me so mad. But it's a wonderful foundation. It does everything it says and more, and it looks like skin, even though it's a medium coverage. So it really is beautiful. But fix your nozzles. Oh. Next one is another one that came from the UK, and this one you can actually get on our Amazon pretty cheap. And you can also get it, I think, on eBay. I found it for like $7. And this is the Rimmel Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue Foundation. So this is the lightest shade that it comes in. This is Light Porcelain in 10. If you are about my skin tone and you can find, you know, Rimmel products, anything in that shade Light Porcelain or 10, or I think it's like 91, this shade is amazing. They really have a great shade range for people with pale skin. Again, kind of like that Bourjois one, they don't go very dark. So Rimmel, get it together, get some darker colors, because everybody should be able to wear this foundation. For me, this is basically like the Hourglass foundation, except slightly more luminous and a little more creamy. So this one has a thicker consistency than this one does, but this one has, it says it's skin brightening with vitamin C. So this one is definitely going to be a little more illuminating than this one is, but they have about the same staying power. If you're looking for something, you know, if you're going fuller coverage, this one for sure is a little bit better. But if you don't want something luminous, this is not for you. But I love it, and I love that pretty much across their whole brand, that 91 or 10 light porcelain shade is exactly the same. And I'm just so glad I found something that is actually, this is pretty much like my closest shade match right here, is that shade in most of their Rimmel products. I love this so much. At this point, we're kind of getting into the big guns. The last three are pretty full coverage foundations, and I kind of talked about this one a little bit already, but this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation, and this is not the lightest shade. This is Fairly Light Beige. Now, this is definitely too dark for me, but I can pass it off during the week, like a work day, with some powder and something that's not really low cut, because it's pretty pale. But I could really go with a lighter shade, but this is what I got shade matched to, which kind of failed, but that's okay. This one is basically like the BB cream that I'm pretty sure I dropped on the floor, so I can't find it for you right this second. But I don't really have anything bad to say about this. It makes your skin look beautiful and airbrushed, and I do have bigger pores like around my nose and where I had cystic acne, all my acne scars are, and this goes over them like a dream. I look so poreless and so airbrushed. This is like a little miracle in a bottle. Now, this comes in 25 shades and it's $39, so it's $3 more than the BB cream. Pretty good shade range, and they do go really pale and really deep. I don't really have anything else bad to say about this one. I like it a lot. I've bought this 2 times already. It's so good. I think that this next foundation is pretty much on every girl's list for full coverage foundations if you have oily skin. And it's the Estee Lauder Double Wear makeup. But this is the lightest shade it comes in. This is 1C1 Cool Bone, because apparently that's how pale I am. I'm bone colored. But it comes in 36 shades and it's $39.50. That's a pretty good shade range. I think this is the most inclusive shade range out of every one of the ones that I've talked about. And it does exactly what it says. It says it is stay in place makeup and it does not move. Now this is also slightly too dark for me. I had to mix it with a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape to get the right consistency and the right color for my skin. But I wore this on my wedding day and the pictures turned out phenomenal. You can't tell that it was slightly too dark. It photographs so well. It's full coverage. I didn't have to spot correct with it. It's really just like a dream. It is full coverage, so you have to be very, very careful how you apply it so you don't look cakey. I like a sponge with this better than a brush because a brush tends to just kind of move the product around on you and not like really get it into your skin. So a sponge with this is my preferred way of doing it, but I adore this foundation, and even though it's slightly too dark, I'm going to purchase this forever for every special occasion that I ever have because it just works so well on my skin. And it actually really helps with my acne scarring too. They pretty much look non-existent, and that's just not a thing with most foundations. Alright, drum roll. We're down to the last foundation. So this is the fullest coverage foundation that I have, and if you guys aren't already following the Taylor, she's the one that turned me on to this, and it is amazing. And if you have pale skin like this, or even if you're a little bit lighter, I think you can pull this off. This is Dermacol's makeup cover. This is a Czech brand. So this is a European brand, and you can find it on Amazon, but I found it cheaper on eBay. I think it was like $15 right now on Amazon. This particular shade is the most expensive one, and I think it's like $27 or something like that. But it is Amazon Prime. 2 days. But it comes in this little golden tube, so you don't feel like you're getting a whole lot when you open this box. You're kind of like, I got gypped. But this is about an ounce, so it's about the same as, you know, this. But this is going to go so much farther than any of your other foundations, because I believe it says on the box, I don't want to tell you that it's wrong. It's 50% pigment. So literally, I can cover my entire face with like half a pea-sized amount. You have to try it and see it to believe it. It is so full coverage, and it's not really matte. It's more of like a satin finish. So it's not luminous by any means, but you're not getting that like lack of depth that you kind of get with a matte foundation. And I wore this all night to a concert, well, maybe 2 weeks ago. It was a Green Day concert, and I was jumping around and having a great time. Came home and my makeup still looked perfect. It does tend to squirt out of the tube a little bit, like when you're not watching, like it's trying to escape. And it's like gold, you know, it's like, oh my god, I just lost like 5 faces worth of this product. Ugh. Alright guys, that's it for my foundation favorites. I'm sure there will be another one of these videos because this is just what I like now. You know, my tastes change, and as they come out with new products, some end up being really, really good for oily skin, and I'm so glad that brands are getting on, you know, being more inclusive with the kinds of skin types that they cater to, because man, a couple of years ago, I just broke down crying one day because I could not find a foundation that worked for all of my needs. It was a sad moment. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little bell down there. It'll let you know when new videos of mine pop up. And come back Saturday for a new one. And I might have a special guest. Thanks guys. See you in my next video.